Coming up, officials from Kenya visit the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter to learn more about the Buddhist NGO. We learn more about the history at the world's 16th books and cafe, which sat inside Novel Hall in Taipei Xinyi district. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Helen Nell. Thank you for joining us. A government delegation from Kenya recently visited Malaysia to learn more from their Asian partner. There too included a visit to the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter. Deeply impressed with all the work Tzu Chi has done worldwide, some were even inspired to practice charitable giving. A delegation made up of 25 state legislators and government officials from Kenya are here in Malaysia to learn from their Asian partner.
Lifelong education, and this serves as the purpose. So we have the art classes.
The Malaysian travel agency responsible for organizing the group's itinerary decides to arrange a visit to the Tzu Chi Kuala Lumpur and Selangor chapter. This is after seeing how the Buddhist NGO has helped stabilize society through charity work and emergency relief, such as the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370 incident.
By giving them the counseling support to the next of kin in the family members, and your role played a lot of humanitarian values to touch someone's soul when it's most needed. It gave me such an impact that country like Kenya, such a needy, a poverty country, I know if each of them take home one good example to go back to their country and plant it, the country will develop.
Since its completion in May, this is the first time the Kuala Lumpur Jing Hall is hosting guests from abroad. Following a short 3-hour visit, Kenyan officials are deeply impressed by Tzu Chi's work both locally and worldwide, and are inspired to join the NGO's ranks.
I could have been happy if I could have volunteered myself and to be a member of Tzu Chi, to get education from Tzu Chi, how they have improved the life of other African countries and other world to help the people who cannot be helped themselves.
And our very humble appeal is that you communicate to your master and give her the goodwill message from Kenyans who would like to partner with our organization.
Returning home after this rewarding journey, it is hoped that these experiences can bring about positive changes in Kenya in the coming days. Back in February, a husband and wife pair from Taiwan was in South Korea for vacation. The wife, who was in her 7th month of pregnancy, unexpectedly went into labor. As the baby was born prematurely, she was in need of immediate medical treatment. Thankfully, with the help of Tzu Chi volunteer Pu Dongxie and his wife Yan Shuling, the baby pulled through. Inspired by Pu's selfless dedication, South Korean actor Lee Young-ae decided to pay most of the baby's medical fees. Holding his daughter tight in his arms is Mr. Meng. Thinking about the treacherous journey his daughter has been through, tears welled up in his eyes. With the assistance of South Korea Tzu Chi volunteer Pu Dongxie and his wife, Meng Ke-li, who was born prematurely, is returning home in good health. Ke-li gave us strength. She has changed our way of thinking and behavior. My husband decided to go meatless, stop drinking and smoking. I am also going vegetarian too. Both of us think that Ke-li is our bodhisattva. When Ke-li was born, she was only 1,000 grams and suffered from biliary atresia. Soon after, she underwent 2 surgeries and was a patient at 3 different hospitals, which left her parents with a medical fee of around $130,000. Thankfully, Tzu Chi volunteer Pu Dongxie and his wife reached out with a helping hand.
I am Ke-li's Korean dad. I am very happy and thankful to the master. Master Zheng Yan really cares about the baby's health.
Ke-li was only 1,000 grams when I met her, but she has grown up so much through these months. When I just hugged her, I felt that she had gained a lot of weight. I am extremely touched. While Ke-li's parents returned to Taiwan to raise money, Pu and his wife helped care for the baby on their own.
Pu even agreed to be the guarantor for Keli's surgeries.
I hope in the future, more and more people will love this child. I hope she will have a wonderful life ahead of her.
Pu Dongxie and his wife Yan Shuling's selfless gesture deeply touched the heart of South Korea actor Lee Yong-ae, who decided to pay most of the infant's medical bill and even visited her at the hospital. Now Meng Keli is 4 months old and weighs 3,270 grams. Keli's parents say thanks to Tzu Chi, their baby girl can finally return to Taiwan safely. Quezon City is the most populous city in the Philippines and leads the country in economic and political development. However, behind its prosperity, there are still many residents living under the poverty line. Thankfully, there are Tzu Chi volunteers who recently visited Barangay o Balara to hand out rice vouchers for the upcoming rice distribution.
Next to this dilapidated house is a gutter that is cluttered with garbage, where foul odor fills the air. Whenever it rains, local residents' safety is at risk.
Papasok talaga yung tubig.
When it rains, floodwaters will come into our house. We don't have enough money to fix the house, and we cannot move to a better place, so we decided to stay here.
Kung saan kami tumira. Kaya dito na lang kami.
Flooding is common in Barangay o Balara of the Philippines' Quezon City. To help, Tzu Chi volunteers come here to offer residents much-needed emotional support as well as rice vouchers.
I am very happy to receive the rice voucher because we need rice to feed our stomachs. It is a big help to us. The rice you will be giving us can feed us for more than a month.
As part of their preparation for the upcoming rice distribution, Tzu Chi volunteers visit each household to hand out rice vouchers. For Lona Bajeres and her family, who make a living by collecting recyclables, Tzu Chi's rice is too generous to believe.
2 kilos of rice is what we have. When my husband sells the recyclables, we will be able to buy 2 more kilos of rice.
Upon receiving Tzu Chi's voucher, Lona can no longer hold back her tears.
We are just too poor, but we are thankful that Tzu Chi will give us rice. It will be a big help because no one has ever given us free rice.
A bag of rice not only helps relieve the poor of their desperate need, but also brings them a ray of hope, guiding them towards a better future.
As genetically modified crops can propagate easily through their pollens, it makes preserving unmodified seeds ever more important. In Taiwan, both the government and public have built seed banks to preserve crops indigenous to Taiwan. We now take you to Taidong's Jingfeng Township, where a group of indigenous farmers are trying hard to protect their millet.
When I was young, my parents and tribal elders told me that I must preserve our millet.
His wrinkled and weathered hands worked deftly to harvest millet. Known as Papa Du, Du Yizhong, who moved to Taidong from Pingdong, has been growing millet for over 6 decades.
吴爸爸，请问一下哦，小米要怎么看？有熟成的跟没有熟成的。
See this? When the color has turned yellow, it means it's ripe and can be harvested. Now this type here, see the color is still greenish, so you can't harvest it yet.
Passing down his knowledge on millet to the next generation, Papa Du has been honoring the words of his parents.
Since I was 13, I have been working hard to preserve our millet. See this millet here? This is the #1 millet of our town. See it? Now this millet is called #2. See, it is more yellowish.
Millet has long been an important part of Taiwan's indigenous culture. The best millet is always offered to the head of each tribe to ensure its continuation. However, that tradition is quickly disappearing.
Before, we had no electricity or refrigerators, so it was difficult to preserve the seeds. We had to save some seeds every year so the millet would not disappear.
Harvested millet are hung outside of each home to dry. The next step is a time of bonding between fathers and sons.
When threshing millet, stand at 30 to 70 weight distribution with left foot in front and right foot at the back. Right hand is on top and left hand is at bottom. Leave some space. We got to work in tune. Let's go. Beat down on the side, not at the center, to trim the millet up.
This father and son pair work hard to thresh the millet, a laborious job that indigenous men had to do in the old days without electricity.
Come, take a look. See how the grain and chaff have been separated. Those at the bottom are done. Come, let's do it again.
Currently, the 16 different kinds of millet in Papa Du's collection are preserved at the local production and marketing association, and the town is trying to bring back 10 other kinds.
Perhaps these seeds that we have saved have sat too long, so they have lost their vitality and are no longer in good shape. In our effort to repopulate them, only one species has been successful.
In spite of the setbacks, scholars still believe the farmers are on the right path.
If farmers don't make an effort to preserve the seeds they plant, then we may not have seeds that are accustomed to our surroundings. So even if scientists want to repopulate a certain plant, they will have nothing to work with.
Facing the threat of genetically modified crops, farmers in Taiwan continue to preserve indigenous crops for future generations.
In 2002, the Tzu Chi Foundation opened its 6th Jing Books and Cafe in Taipei Xinyi district. In the 12 years since its establishment, the bookstore has hosted countless spiritual workshops and invited speakers from all walks of life to share their stories. Although the doors closed at the old location, on July 1st, they reopened at the cafe's new location on the 5th floor of the Xinyi Esli bookstore.
In 2003, celebrating the one-year anniversary of the Jing Books and Cafe at Novo Hall, Master Zhen Yan stopped by to give her blessings. Twice a month, spiritual workshops are held here, often filling the bookstore wall-to-wall with people. For 12 years, the bookstore invited speakers from all walks of life to share their inspiring stories. Despite its connection to the community, on June 30th, the Jing Books and Cafe at Novo Hall closed its doors for good.
12 years ago, that location was really desolate. There was nothing nearby. It was very quiet. Taipei 101 and Esli bookstore weren't built yet, but thankfully there was a performance venue upstairs.
Among the concrete jungle of the Xinyi district, the Jing Books and Cafe was a tranquil place to seek peace of mind. The window display was filled with the bookstore's simple beauty, and inside the elegant layout was soothing to the eyes. The cafe was even once the starting point of a serendipitous love story. Shown here are Heng Ming and Ya Qi. After the two met several times at the bookstore, both affirmed their relationship with Tzu Chi as well as with each other.
She was attending a performance upstairs and saw our bookstore. She then paid a visit, and that's how her affinity with Tzu Chi began. Afterwards, when she began to train as a Tzu Chi commissioner, one day she came by to submit her training booklet, but we weren't here. Instead, she met this young man from South Africa who was volunteering at the bookstore during his time off, while serving in his compulsory military service. That's how their relationship began.
Not only did the bookstore serve as matchmaker, but it also became a place where people came to find solace and comfort.
Whenever she was feeling blue or depressed, she would pay us a visit. Just receiving a paper bag with Jing aphorisms printed on it was enough for her to get out of her rut.
Although its doors are closing, the seeds of love and compassion the bookstore has spread will continue to flourish inside the hearts of all those who knew it.
Next up, we meet Chairman of Guangdong Zhujiang Invest Zhu Mengyi. In support of Tzu Chi's mission, Zhu provided the premises for Tzu Chi offices in Beijing, Chengdu, and Guangzhou. However, a very humble and low-key person, Zhu only recently paid his first visit to the Tzu Chi Tianhe office in celebration of its first anniversary.
Receiving a warm welcome from Tzu Chi volunteers is Chairman of Guangdong Zhujiang Invest Zhu Mengyi, who provided this venue that would later become the Tzu Chi Tianhe office in Guangzhou.
Please give us some guidance. You provided us with this home.
Taking a tour of each floor, Zhu sees how the building has become infused with Tzu Chi's humanistic culture.
This photo was taken during a home visitation.
Love our earth and adopt a vegetarian diet. One day, a 4-year-old child said to the master that he wanted to become a vegetarian. He said he wants to eat vegetables because vegetables can grow back again, whereas animals, when eaten, won't be able to jump around anymore.
Hailed as the property baron of southern China, Zhu Mengyi, who started out as a building contractor but today is a billionaire, remains humble and grounded. Apart from providing this building to Tzu Chi for the next 20 years rent-free, Zhu also generously covered the renovation costs for the Jingsi Books and Cafe and the office. With Zhu's low-key and humble demeanor, even at the opening of the Tianhe office, Zhu kindly declined to attend.
We have the heart, but not the manpower, whereas Tzu Chi has the resources and manpower to help those in need. I'm not able to help everyone like Tzu Chi can. There is a lot worth learning from Tzu Chi.
Celebrating the Tianhe office's first anniversary, even though Chairman Zhu's visit was brief, Tzu Chi's humanitarianism has left a lasting impression in his heart. The downpour outside does not get in the way of diligent hearts. Faculty staff of various schools from Ruifeng Town in Meizhou City, Guangdong, traveled for 6 to 7 hours in the rain before arriving at the Shenzhen chapter. The Jingsi Aphorism Study Group, organized by the Shenzhen Tzu Chi Teachers Association, welcomes new members this time around. As Liuhuang is his hometown, Zhu hopes to share some of Tzu Chi's humanistic culture and Jingsi aphorisms with residents here.
We have to put into practice what the Jingsi aphorisms say to create goodness that will translate into blessings. These seeds of goodness should be planted in our children's hearts so that they will pass on from one generation to the next.
For Principal Ye Hanjie, these simple yet wise words have really hit close to home.
When students scored bad grades, I would lose my temper. When they got up to mischief, I would lose my temper. Ever since I got married, I also lose my temper with my wife, so I want to begin by changing myself.
Teachers take notes of the wisdom embedded in the Jingsi aphorisms as they hope to purify their hearts and share these words with their students as well.
In Taiwan's Tainan, team of dentists and Tzu Chi volunteers traveled to Fengde Education and Nursing Institute for a dental clinic aimed at protecting the oral health of residents. Meanwhile, in Jiayi, Darling Tzu Chi Hospital medical staff, along with team members, provided a health checkup for residents of Ruifeng Village.
Team members once again are traveling to the far-flung corners of Taiwan. This time they arrived at Ruifeng Village, Meishan Township, Jiayi County, where local residents are in need of medical assistance.
What's worse is when the monsoon season begins. Heavy downpours may cause landslides and damage roads. That is really great. It's our blessing to be careful and loved by Tzu Chi.
On average, locals need to spend at least 1 hour driving to see a doctor. One of them is Chen Guizhi, who has suffered from high blood pressure for years, but does not take her medicine or measure her blood pressure on a regular basis. Thanks to TIMA members' assistance, however, she has a chance to readjust her health care habits to prevent a possible stroke. In addition to the free clinic, TIMA's medical team also makes house calls for patients who cannot attend the free clinic on their own. Meanwhile, in Tainan, TIMA dentists are holding a dental clinic for residents of the Fengde Education and Nursing Institute. This is Dr. Lin Yongyu, who is a first-timer. Volunteering in this way has given the doctor a new perspective on her career.
Hospitals have quite a lot of medical equipment, while here it is your medical skills that are put to the test. You need to be fast, sharp, and precise when treating patients. I would say it's quite meaningful helping out here during the holidays.
Zhou Jiannan, a special education teacher, has also learned the importance of Tzu Chi's medical mission in the process.
These residents will get older. By then, their families may not be around. So it's good to have NGOs like Tzu Chi to provide assistance to these residents who need extra medical treatment.
Thanks to TIMA and Tzu Chi, needy residents in Taiwan can now enjoy better health and a longer life.
In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members recently held a summer free clinic for community residents in San Jose, California. Many of the patients' symptoms lessened upon receiving medical care. Let's take a look.
The simple action of bending the knee has troubled Chen Meiyu for years.
I have knee problems. When I take the stairs, I have to take it one step at a time.
Through one treatment with a Chinese medicine doctor, Chen's condition has improved.
I received acupuncture on the neck and head, and now I can squat no problems.
Tzu Chi volunteers and TIMA members held a summer community-free clinic in San Jose, California, which freed local residents from their thorn in their side.
And I can tell you, I can breathe better, and my headache's completely gone. And I feel so much more relaxed, like the tension in my shoulders is gone.
And everyone here was so nice and so compassionate, and everyone here has a great heart.
I want to help the community and give within my ability, especially for those who normally don't have an opportunity to see a dentist.
Safeguarding the health of local residents, Tzu Chi International Medical Association members continue to provide the best quality of care for each patient.
We go to the United States of Oregon at the end of the show. Portland Tzu Chi volunteers and local food bank had a joint relief distributions for the homeless. Thanks to collaboration between the two organizations, 167 homeless people's hearts are filled with warmth and happiness. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.